It's the 2K Sports pregame show, brought to you by Kia.
Everyone is in their seat and buckled in at the American Airlines Arena as the Heat look to grab a win here in Miami. With Brett Barry and Greg Anthony, this is Kevin Harlan, and David Aldridge will be joining us on the sideline as well. This road trip for the Magic kicking things off here in this one. And, of course, Patrick Beverley. And let's go straight over to David Aldridge for a report before the tip-off. Hey, Dave.
Well, Nick Vucevic is from a basketball family. His father, Borislav.
Big advantage, D.A. Thanks. What an excellent matchup at the center position tonight, Brent. Do centers take it as personal challenges when they are in that marquee matchup with the name as big as theirs?
I think they do, Kevin, but with the way the game is played nowadays, I think it gets a little frustrating for centers because we often don't see teams just pounding it down into the block or finding guys in the post. So the way that they have to impact the game isn't the way that we're used to in the 70s and 80s with huge scoring outputs. It's more about offensive rebounding, great screen setting, and shot blocking.
They're so hard to officiate, too. Sometimes they don't know what they can and cannot do from night to night.
And the fact that the game is so spread out, all of a sudden when centers are in the middle of all that action and it looks physical, maybe more fouls get called because we're just not used to seeing that much banging going on in the middle.
A look at the starting group for the Magic. The guard tandem is Payton and Fournier. Gordon down low with Vucevic, and it's Green in at the small forward. Dragic kicks to Bosh. Johnson the screen. Outside Bradley. There's the dish to Bosh. Just 5 to shoot. That's in, coming off an assist from Dragic. Bosh has got the game going here with the first basket for the Heat.
As soon as Bosh gets the ball inside, he takes it right at the defense. They really have no answer when he's that close to the basket. Well, he has a great ability to lead his man with the pass. Puts him in great position to score.
That shot, no good. So Orlando will take it the other way. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to the Raptors.
Yeah, they just really struggled to put points on the board throughout that game. You could just see they were pressing. Just couldn't get anything to go on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, I think there was way too much one-on-one play for them in that game. Their ball movement was awful, and their offense stagnant. So not a prime example tonight of good team basketball.
And Kevin, who says a point guard should look to pass first? I mean, not when you can finish like this fella.
Well, he wasn't going to give that opportunity up to a teammate.
And that's what we're seeing more and more. Point guards who can finish as well as they make the play.
Feeds to Payton. Gordon with a screen on Dragic. Back to Fournier. Lets it go from deep. Chris Bosh with the rebound. The Heat have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. And you can't see Chris Bosh and not think of the season he was forced to miss out due to his blood clot. Had to see him not only back on the floor, but making a full recovery from the issue.
And if by full recovery, Kevin, you mean participating in the All-Star game that very next year, that's some impressive stuff from Chris Bosh. You could see in the early part of the season how much passion he was playing with and how much fun it was for him to be back on the NBA floor.
Stolen by Bosh. And now here's Johnson, the fast break chance. And he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up.
And while Dragic doesn't get to the free throw line all that often, when he does, he's usually pretty good.
And when you watch Dragic, the thing that sticks out is how easy it is for him to create something out of nothing, Brent. It's like he's seeing a different game at times.
Well, first of all, Kevin, he has the advantage of being a left-handed player, and it's always difficult to guard those. And then secondly, he uses his speed and his pull-up game with great effectiveness. That's why that field goal percentage for him has always been very, very efficient.
And Goran Dragic drops them both. First quarter of play. We're about 3 minutes in. Payton outside. Top of the key, Fournier. Pick by Vucevic. Shot clock at 6. And it's Gordon missing.
Now, nice work there to contest the finish inside.
The only way you're going to challenge him in that situation, you have to attack with more power.
And he just dangles from the bucket after sending that one through.
And you can see which team has the swagger right now. Passes it to Fournier. Their offense stone cold. Another miss there. Guys, a potent offense right now.
You know what, guys, and they're playing with a certain amount of assuredness in their game. That type of confidence is what leads teams to having success.
Reza passes to Johnson. And the slam dunk by Johnson.
Well played right there. I mean, there's no question who has the momentum.
Yep, clearly on a roll now. Just need to keep doing what they're doing.
And it'll be Orlando with their first time out of the game right here. You think about great teams, they almost always have great leaders on the floor. And Brent, we can talk about some of the things that go into that.
Well, sometimes it doesn't come from the team's leader, but if I think about a team and vocal leader and combine all of those things into one, Chris Paul is a guy who, if you ever watch a Clipper game, he talks more than Doc Rivers.
I would agree.
It's the truth.
Well, we see it firsthand courtside.
If Chris Paul could do the pregame interviews with you, Kevin, he would. He just saves it all for the game action.
And really, you look at the Magic, they definitely improved defensively for last season. I mean, it's still a young team that has to feel like they're headed in the right direction with a plethora of young and up-and-coming talent.
And a new group in for the Heat. Lee's checked in for Johnson. Johnson comes in for Trevor Ariza. Mills, he's checked in for Avery Bradley. And it's Patrick Beverley in for Goran Dragic. So Orlando going with an almost entirely new group here. Yambo, he's checked in for Vucevic. Terrence Ross comes in for Green. Watson, he's checked in for Evan Fournier. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Elfrid Payton. And Greg, for the Magic, offense is where they need to take that next step. What's the key there, you think?
I think shooting has been their Achilles heel. I mean, you can only accomplish so much with dive cuts and drives. It gets clogged up in the paint. They've got a great shooting coach. They seem to be drafting athletes and then trying to coach them up to become better shooters.
The shot's good.
And this has been a great job of just getting into the middle of that defense and really scoring effectively from the paint.
Here's Augustine. Chalk up 2 there.
And a nice job here early of establishing an inside presence.
Beverley up top, guarded by Augustine. And Beverley kicks to Johnson. Dishes it to Lee. And Lee with the stuff.
Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
And to me, this is why they're winning, guys. Unlikely players stepping up huge against a defense that's really nowhere to be found.
Outside Gordon, right wing. Watson for 3. Miami grabs the miss. They couldn't put the pieces together, losing that last matchup with Boston.
The offense just struggled mightily in that game. They went stretches where points just became very difficult to come by.
I think mostly they just did not give themselves a chance on the inside. They settled too much for the jump shot. I would have liked to have seen a better effort to get the ball to the paint.
Here's Gordon, and he didn't get quite enough under that one. And that concludes the first quarter of play. Miami ahead as they end the first quarter on a 14-5 run. Back after this from the American Airlines Arena. And forward James Johnson battled his way back into the league after some stints abroad. He talked about his approach to the game.
I play the game how it's supposed to be played. I play offense, I play defense, I rebound, steals, blocks. You know, I'm pretty much that guy who likes to work hard and don't want anybody to beat him out, you know, except the challenge.
That's exactly the kind of hard-nosed, old-school attitude that coaches just love.
And Kevin, and so do his teammates. I mean, a guy like that brings out the best in everybody on that team. They just kind of feed off of his effort and desire.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. And let's quickly break down the game we've been seeing from the Heat, guys.
Just the start they're looking for in this game. Solid offensively through the first.
Well, they snuck out to the lead partly because of the play calling, largely because of the execution.
David Lee is out there with Johnson. Then there's Bradley. Then it's Johnson. And it's Beverly in at the point. That's the group on the floor for Miami. Here's Lee. Back to Bradley. Kicks it to Johnson. Here's Lee. Vucevic with the rebound.
He's certainly a threat to finish those opportunities with some style and flair, but the defense did a simply outstanding job preventing that from happening.
Pass to Fournier. There's the triple. And it's Miami with the rebound. Their last encounter was in Orlando. They were able to handle the Magic.
Their last game against this squad, they won out thanks to some big contributions from the bench.
Yeah, a few of their reserves got some decent minutes that night, and they took the opportunity and ran with it. A lot of scoring coming off the pine in that win.
And out of bounds as the Heat gain possession.
And a moment here to look at some of the stats for Beverly. He's averaging 8 points, 6 assists, and 4 rebounds. They're loving how he's running the show here. His sensational passing really breathing life into their offense.
The pass to Johnson. Vucevic with the block. Fournier dishes to Augustine. Ross with a wide open look. He drains the quick shot. Ross has got the opening field goal of the second quarter for the Magic.
And Nikola Vucevic, a skilled 7-footer who just attacks the glass. A nightly double-double machine, but still figuring out how to really become a dominant force on the inside.
The Heat need to get a shot off. And stolen by Fournier. Here's the teardrop. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. And thinking about Vucevic, he's a guy that just tantalizes with his scoring, his size. But you hear some comments and concerns that he's not the impact defender that you would have to have inside.
Yeah, not the quickest feet or the fastest off the ground, but he does stay out of foul trouble. And for him to really move the needle, though, you'd like for him to watch tape of a guy like Tim Duncan and improve as a rim protector.
And with the season in full swing, you can really start to see teams hitting their stride. Brent, how brutal is that 82-game regular season schedule?
Well, the league can do all they want with trying to eliminate back-to-backs in 4 games and 5 nights, Kevin, but guess what? 82 is 82. Yes. And so the marathon right now is in full swing.
Well, you look at the Miami Heat, and there's a lot of experience on that roster. But you know, Brent, even the role players who have been in this league for a while. They've carved out nice roles for the team as well.
Yeah, you can never underestimate what it's like to have experience in the NBA, not only in dealing with training camp and a new coach, but the length of a season, and then potentially, if those things all come together, a nice long playoff run. They play a very controlled style, and Eric Spoelstra has the team pointed in the right direction. Great to see young players like Winslow getting some early important minutes for his career.
And we've got an update here, so let's catch up with David Aldridge.
Well, guys, the 10th pick in the draft can sometimes be a diamond in the rough. You remember Paul Pierce went to the Celtics many years ago with the 10th pick, and Justice Winslow fell to the Heat with the 10th pick a couple of years ago. From day one, Winslow has proven to be on the elite side of defenders in the league. Eric Spoelstra told us he plays with a veteran poise, but also with a youthful intensity, particularly on the defensive end. Kevin, he's been a great fit in Miami.
He just makes winning plays, DA. Thank you. Bradley can't get it to go. The Magic trail by 7. Payton outside, launches it, and it's out of bounds. The Heat will take it the other way. And where have the shots been coming from tonight? Here's a look broken down by paint, mid-range, and three-point shot attempts so far for Orlando.
And they've really shied away from the mid-range. That's a new school style, and looking for shots beyond the arc and at the rim, those tend to be far more efficient.
And almost 4 minutes gone here in the second quarter of play. Dragic against Payton. Bradley passes to Johnson. Back to Bradley. And stolen by Fournier. And now running it up the court. Green pushing it all the way. Knocked loose. It's stolen by Ariza. Here's the break. Here's Johnson. That's basket number 2 with his third shot off to a fast 2 for 3. 1:49 left to play in the first half. Payton outside. Pass to Fournier. Vucevic, a screen on Bradley. Shot clock at 6. Picked by Vucevic. And Fournier kicks to Vucevic, and that one is good. Vucevic has got 6 points.
Well, you look at head coach Eric Spoelstra, the first word that comes to mind is meticulous. He started at the bottom. Now he's here. He used to fetch laundry and walk the coach's dogs. Not doing that anymore. Now one of the most respected coaches in the league. To see how far he's come from the film room to the hardwood, you just have to credit remarkable work ethic.
I tell you what, they won't be down for long if they can get some more early offense like that.
And Miami calls their first time out of the game. And you remember when Eric Spoelstra was the young, unproven coach directing the Big Three, and Brent, believe it or not, he's now the longest tenured coach in the Eastern Conference.
You know, the amazing thing, Kevin, he's still got a good full head of hair. It's still that jet black hair. When is that going to turn gray? I guess if you win some championships and you have that kind of success, it's not going anywhere. And neither is Eric Spoelstra.
And some changes here for the Heat. Marsh comes in for Johnson. And it's Mills in for Bradley. The Magic also changing it up. Gordon comes in for Terrence Ross. And it's Watson in for Evan Fournier. There's a minute left in the first half. Dragic kicks to Ariza. Gordon with the defensive effort.
You have to give a ton of credit to the defense for arriving just in time and altering that shot away from the basket.
Right block shot, and it's sent back by Bosch.
That's just admirable work by Bosch. A big-time rejection.
The Magic have been perfect at the line so far, albeit just 2 for 2.
And in terms of team numbers, the free throw percentage is right at 74.
The odd fact for the Heat, they have a lot of left-handed players on their roster, Brent, enough to field a complete lineup. In fact, of softballs. They did so last season.
Yeah, that was pretty awesome to watch, and I'm just not sure how it is that guys play backwards, Kevin, as a right-handed player.
So he gets the whistle, contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Bosch holds a career average of around 50% from the field, so getting him the ball that close to the basket is always a good decision.
Miami shooting their 3rd and 4th free throw shots of the night. The first one falls. Biombo is checked in for Orlando. Off on that one, so he goes 1 for 2 at the line. The Magic trail by 6.
Yeah, the shot clock's off. This could be the last possession of the quarter.
It will be if they play this right. Definitely should hold it for the last shot.
Outside Gordon. Fades and shoots. And we've reached halftime in this one. Miami ahead, up by 6. And a chance now to send it over to David Aldridge, standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. Here with Frank Vogel. Coach, your team is down at the half. What has to change?
Well, it's still early in the game. Okay, we're a little bit out of sync offensively. We just got to get into a rhythm.
Good passes lead to good offense. Thanks, Coach. Back to you, Kevin.
All right, thank you, David. And folks, don't go away. After the break, we'll see you right back here for the start of quarter number 3.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hello again, everybody. Ernie Johnson, joined by Kenny Smith, right there. And Shaquille O'Neal, he's right there. Welcome to the NBA Halftime Show on 2K Sports. Miami did not hesitate to set the pace. An exceptional game plan helped them open with a 12-4 run. They were able to string together a nice set of offensive plays to finish the quarter, making their last 4 shots. The second quarter wasn't as kind to them, but they still fought through some mistakes to have a 6-point cushion at the half. Kenny, let's start with you. What'd you think about the Heat?
Well, there was a big spark from the bench in the first half. Sometimes you're hoping for your reserves to come in and just hold court, but they didn't do that. They actually got better.
Check. What'd you think about Orlando?
Ernie, they're taking way too many threes. The offense has no rhythm. They need to go back to the drawing board. Maybe try to get a little bit more transition, more off the pick and roll. Anything other than shooting that 3. It's not going.
That, sadly, wraps up the halftime show. The third quarter set to begin in just a few. We'll see you right here, though, after the game, so you have that to look forward to.
Kenny had so much more to say.
A shot of American Airlines Arena in the lights of Miami, Florida. Welcome back, everyone, to the action here. Welcome back, everyone. The second half about to get underway, and it's been a close one so far. You have to like what we're seeing from Goran Dragic.
And he just went off in those first 2 quarters, guys. He's capable of doing that on a consistent basis as well. So we might see some changes from a defensive standpoint as they try to disrupt his rhythm in the second half.
There's got to be some consideration that double teams will be sent his way. Of course, that's going to leave someone else wide open.
Heat leading by 6. Checking out the group for Frank Vogel to start the second half. Gordon down low with Vucevic. The guard tandem is Payton and Fournier. And it's Green in at the 3. And he comes up with the deuce.
And that tells the tale here today, guys. Throughout this game, they've been able to get the ball in tight and finish.
Fournier dishes to Payton. Right side Green. This one for 3. Ariza with the rebound. And Miami shooting 52% from the floor. Nice work so far from them. And Trevor Ariza, one of the more consistent 3 and D wings. Seems like he puts up pretty much the same numbers, Greg, every season.
Yeah, Kevin, a little bit of what you see is what you get. The difference I saw in him last year, though, although subtle, was the dip in number of assists and rebounds. The one thing Ariza has to guard against is getting too comfortable floating to that 3-point line.
Second half rolling along now. About a minute played here. And Fournier kicks to Vucevic. And, yep, that's going to be a flagrant foul. Unnecessary contact.
And, Kevin, that's a pretty dangerous play right there. I mean, I don't like to see a player put an opponent in harm's way, as much as you just saw him do there. Glad they pinned a flagrant on him.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. The officials were all over it. They weren't going to let him off the hook that time. He's 0 of 2 at the line in this one.
Numbers this year at the line below 70, so when he's getting to the line, not nearly as effective as you'd like.
That one is no good. Well, Commissioner Adam Silver has said he'd like to see the league institute a 2 years out of college restriction. Brent, you played 4 years in college. I know you think that helped you. Do you think that requiring that extra development time would be a good thing for the NBA?
Interesting conversations I've had, Kevin, over the past 3 or 4 years with younger coaches in the NBA is the fact that with younger players, they have to take so much time to teach them fundamental things that chunks up a lot of the time that they would have in order to get their team ready for game 30, game 40. And so that teaching is really holding back a lot of teams from being as competitive as they should be once they get their season started. So 2 years, I think, is a great idea from Commissioner Silver. We'll see if that happens.
So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And while we can, let's have a look at the 2K leaderboard to find out who have been the most efficient scorers in the NBA this month. Chris Bosh on top. And, of course, David Lee.
Both of these guys have been shooting with tremendous efficiency as the month has gone on. I don't know who's going to outdo who.
He throw good, Dragic. When you look back over the career of Dragic, and he's always been mindful to take smart shots, Brent, his offensive efficiency reflects that, and it's rare to see him get bullied into a bad shot.
Well, Dragic has had a great field goal percentage for a scoring combo guard his whole career. But you can imagine, Kevin, how much pressure there is to join a team like the Miami Heat. That can affect some of your confidence. We'll see if Dragic can reestablish that here.
And on our sideline, our reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, the Miami Heat is still relevant in the East. The team made some excellent roster moves to bring in new talent after losing LeBron James to Cleveland a couple of years ago. Coach Spoelstra said, how many teams, if you lose the best player in the game, can have a compelling team 13 months later? You know, Kevin, in Miami, they don't stay down for long.
Thank you, DA. A championship caliber organization from the top down. And he makes good on the layup. Dragic has got 4 points in the quarter.
Yeah, right now, Goran Dragic has got it cooking.
Payton kicks to Gordon. Ross on the wing. Fournier against Beverly. Fournier passes to Vucevic. He with the block. But they'll get another chance. The Heat leading by 6. Here's Ariza. And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot. And the Magic's young tandem of first-round picks in 2014, Elfrid Payton and Aaron Gordon. They've come a long way together.
You know, they were teammates on the Team USA under-19 squad that went 9-0 and won gold back in 13. And that was a great draft for the Magic, getting 2 high-character, high-effort, defensive-minded players with elite athleticism.
No good on that one. Mills, he's checked in for the Heat. Orlando also making some changes. Biyombo is checked in for Vucevic. Watson comes in for Fournier. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Payton. And he can't get the second one to drop either. Coming up empty that time.
Now, one thing about the Miami Heat is they always seem to find a veteran willing to come in and play on a bargain contract. I guess it is true that people tend to go towards the warmer weather.
And how about breaking out the Statue of Liberty on that dunk?
A nice way to pad that lead a little more. You're right. The feed to Gordon. Down low. That's good, and the Heat lead is cut down to 6 on the bucket from Watson. Watson's got his first 2 points of the night. Well, we know Miami's certainly a gorgeous setting. Brent, sand, sun, sea, things you enjoy in California.
Well, speaking of the sun, Kevin, did you see over there on the East Plaza of American Airlines Arena, they put up that sweet solar canopy. So energy efficient, and the Green Week has extended to green years down here in Miami. But Kevin, those things you mentioned sure do make it an attractive destination for the NBA free agents. Very lazy defense there, but luckily they got bailed out by the missed shot. He won't miss many of those opportunities.
Basket good.
Well, there's a couple things that Patty is working on to be a better player in this league, and finding the open man is one of them.
Now here's Watson, covered by Mills. Here's Gordon. He kicks to Biombo. He dishes it to Augustine. Gordon a screen. A second chance effort. Augustine no luck. The Heat leading by 6. Shots good by Mills. Mills has got his first 2 points.
Just a great job of attacking on the break.
Yep, he got up ahead of steam, and no one could come over to stop him.
The dish to Ross. On the wing, Gordon. Shot clock at 6. Doesn't get it to drop for him. And it's Miami the other way.
Just not much success when it comes to shooting. And the advantage they have starting to increase. Things are coming together for them at a really opportune time.
Coaches always talk about the first 5 minutes of the third quarter. They have definitely increased their energy level here.
Stolen by Bosch.
They have a 2-for-1 situation if they go quick.
Yeah, real quick. They got to get a shot off almost right away.
And the shot counts. He's fouled, and it's a chance for a 3-point play.
Shot's good.
And while he's better known for scoring than playing the PG position in a traditional sense, Patty Mills becoming a better playmaker.
A different look for Miami. Amir Johnson's checked in for Lee. Johnson comes in for Chris Bosh. And Bradley's subbed in for Patrick Beverly. And the Magic making a change here as well. Green's checked in.
And not doing very well at the line in this half. Percentage has dropped all the way down to below 60. And you're going to take as many of those high percentage shots as you can get.
Feeds to Bradley. Ariza outside. Back to Bradley. Shoots the 3. He can't get that one. And here at the end of the third quarter, it's a double-digit ball game. Heat lead by 10. Back after this from the American Airlines Arena. And meanwhile, Frank Vogel talking to his team.
Look, they can't guard great passing. They're passing the ball great to start. We got to do that for 4 quarters.
Preaching ball movement. Frank Vogel likes what he's seeing so far.
Yeah, and I'd say moving the ball with a purpose. Working the offense, trying to find good shots.
Well, welcome back as we get set to start the fourth. Okay, now let's reset our lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for this fourth quarter. And for Miami, looking who they've got out there. They've got Avery Bradley. Johnson is out there with Johnson. Then there's Dragic, and it's Mills in at the shooting guard position. Shot clock at 5. Offensive rebound. Johnson with the block. And now here's Johnson, a fast break chance. And there's Johnson. That's good on the assist by Johnson. Johnson's got the lead up to 12 now for Miami. And taken away by Johnson. In the corner, Bradley with it. And Mills kicks to Johnson. Back to Mills. Vucevic with the block. And that's out of bounds. Miami will retain possession. Chris Bosh is checked in for Patty Mills. Magic on defense. Down by 12. Bradley dishes to Dragic. Just 5 to shoot. Well-placed jumper from the free throw line.
A nice job from Goran Dragic there to take the jumper in the face of some pretty good defense there and still nails it.
And it's Dragic with the foul. That is his first foul of the game. We're just over a minute into this final quarter of play. He got right to the cup using that screen.
Now, coach has to be proud on how that play turned out. Brilliant set there to get the open look.
From 12 feet out, and he gets contact and the whistle on the shot. 2 shots coming up. And Orlando called for the foul.
Seeing that Dragic has averaged 75% from the free throw line during his career, have to feel confident that he's going to knock these down.
You played all the backcourt positions, including shooting guard. Some have said the talent level at the 2 guard has fallen off a bit of late. Would you agree with that?
I think it's been an interesting shift, Kevin, in the NBA with regards to the scoring point guard and how much there are guards in our league who initiate offense not with the pass, but more with their ability to get to the rim, eventually get to the foul line, their ability to score the basketball and run pick-and-roll offenses. And with how quick teams are playing, there maybe are fewer opportunities for shooting guards to get the ball in positions where they can score.
But 2 guards have got to handle the ball. We're seeing that more and more, that versatility is important for teams.
No question about it. A lot of coaches are looking for complementary 2 guards or small forwards out there that can get to the right spots and then make the next play. After your point guard draws defense, can the next man on your team be just as effective with his pass, with his scoring? Then you got a combination that can do some damage.
Way too many shots in close, and he's got to get his guys to cut that down in terms of points in the paint.
Yeah, maybe these matchups aren't the best for his defense. I'm sure he's taking a long look right now at the bench to find some answers.
All right, let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, guys, during that last timeout, I listened to Frank Vogel talk to his team. He is not happy with the turnovers. He said, we have got to get some shots. It's as simple as that, guys. Play smart and value the basketball. We'll see if the message sunk in, Kevin.
First minute and a half of basketball played here in the 4th quarter. There's a good screen to the paint. It's tipped. And so the ball out of bounds. Bosch touched it last.
Risky pass in a situation like that. Very lucky that wasn't a steal.
Well, good hand-eye coordination, but he could only get the deflection very close.
Payton with the ball. Here's Fournier. Shot clock at 4.
Yeah, man, this game would shift drastically if he was on tonight and making those shots that we normally see him hit.
Yeah, easy call.
That's his second personal foul. Armenian Johnson. 2.
And that one falls for Johnson. The Magic making a switch here. Ross is checked in. That one falls, so he hits both of them. The Magic trail by 16. They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
For Miami, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the 4th quarter started. Here's Bosch, and Chris Bosch with the slam.
That's great basketball to feed Bosch. He completes the spectacular dunk there.
Ross on the wing. Green kicks to Payton. Green, the screen. Fournier gets a wide open look. Once again off the mark, Orlando.
Now, he's not picking his spots out there right now, at least not well. He's forcing low percentage opportunities, and it's no surprise the frustration right there on his face.
Here's Bosch. Doesn't go that time. Great D that time from Green. Ross kicks to Vucevic. There's a good screen. Payton can't get it to go. The Heat leading by 18. Johnson outside. He feeds it to Bradley. Down to 5 on the shot clock. The 19-foot shot bounces high off the rim and drops. And the Heat lead by 20. Orlando's gone ice cold from three-point land, 0 of 4 since the start of the final quarter. Payton passes to Vucevic. Dragic kicks to Johnson. And he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him. I think everyone would agree that NBA players now spend more time developing their strength and athleticism than in the past. Maybe Michael Jordan was the first to really popularize that. How would you approach it if you were coming into the league now?
Well, I think every player understands that when you improve the most, Kevin, it's during the off season. And so guys either ask other players in their area who it is that they're working with and try to get together so that they have some company while they're in the gym, or they find some trainers that are going to push the limits of their potential so that in the off season they can come back next year bigger, better, and stronger for that season.
How can you play in the league now if you don't have a very comprehensive off-season schedule?
It's absolutely a year-round job, and there's some people on both coasts and in the Midwest.
That's a great dunk!
Freakish.
Man overboard.
Wow.
Is it legal to have hops like that? I mean, how is that even possible?
Only one way to describe that, baby. Up high and down hard.
What imagination. We'll be seeing that highlight for days to come.
And that replay sponsored by Kia, the Kia Slam Cam, giving us a great look at that one. And Bradley gets it to go.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Fearless, despite the size mismatch, took it right to him.
And Kevin, he saw his guys just a little sluggish out there. Oftentimes a timeout like this allows you to kind of just reset.
Going with a whole new group out there. So Orlando going with an almost entirely new group here. Biombo, he's checked in for Vucevic. Green comes in for Terrence Ross. Watson, he's checked in for Evan Fournier. And DJ Augustine subbed in for Payton. There's 1:54 left in the fourth quarter. And here's Augustine. Gordon a screen. Gordon with a screen on Ariza. Just 5 on the clock. Green dishes to Watson. Here's Gordon. And there's the whistle. Fouled hard on the shot. He'll go to the line. And Aaron Gordon in his 3rd NBA season. It's easy to forget he's just 2 months younger than Karl Anthony Towns. So still much room for growth in this young guy.
True, but you gotta like what we've seen from him thus far. It reminds me a little bit of another running rebel, Sean Marion, the Matrix. Athletic, mobile, has the versatility to compete at either forward position. This guy has a bright future.
Well, Commissioner Adam Silver mentioned at some point they'll look at potentially expanding the NBA draft to 3 rounds. It's been that before in 1988. Used to be, what, 6, 7 rounds?
That's correct.
Long time ago, Brent. Should the league go back to a 3-round draft?
Why not?
But how about some of these names deep in the second round? These are kids that get cut immediately.
Well, you don't have to watch it, Kevin, but it'd be good for the league
But
to
we
have
love
3
the league,
rounds.
so of course you watch it.
Yeah, and you know, you think about the hundreds of potential players that can make the NBA, certainly be on a summer league roster so that the teams can evaluate them over the next 3 months before the NBA season gets started. So why not 3 rounds?
And so it's going to end up in the record books as a blowout, a dominating performance for the Heat.
This was a team performing to its fullest capability.
A hugely satisfying win, a game that not many will soon forget, and on the other side, one that I think most will try to forget.
And guys, at this point in the long NBA season, this will go down as win number 25.
And continued dominance against this team, winning both of their matchups this season. And maybe it goes without saying, but they had no answer for Chris Bosh.
Well, the way he battled down low was just impressive. His rebounding numbers tonight are awesome. They jump off the stat page, and they got